What, bitch? Tell me.
Wait, someone needs to hear this.
Yo.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Please Say It Again. I'm your host, Lily, and I'm here with your host, Sadie.
Hello.
Yes, and guys, I hope you had a good rest of your week, and I hope you enjoyed our last podcast. If you haven't listened to that, please go listen to that. We talk about self-care inside and out, and I truly love that conversation.
Me
It was a good
too.
one. Yeah, it was a good one. So yeah, I guess we have like a pretty big topic today, so we can just kind of jump into it.
Yes.
Today we're going to talk about why the fuck anyone, men, the government, whoever the fuck it is, think they can touch us, talk about our bodies, or control us in any shape or form. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I'm going to let Sadie give you guys our quotes for the week.
Well, hello, and like Lily said, I hope you guys had a great week last week, and hopefully you guys kind of took some advice away from our last episode and treated yourself to a little self-care day. I know I did. But anyways, to get this conversation started, let me share some quotes with you guys. The first one is Lily sent to me this week, and it's a great one. It says, "Only respecting women that you're attracted to isn't respecting women."
That's a period.
Yeah, that's on period. Take it as you will. There it is.
Self-explanatory.
Right. And I was really trying to find another one, but I couldn't. And here we go. If it's not yours, don't touch it.
Period.
Okay? Don't. Just like don't.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Yes.
That's on period. Yes, I love that. And if you're a woman, or even if you're a male and you've gone through these experiences, you know how uncomfortable it is when an older man, a younger man, whoever the fuck it is, comes and approaches you. How uncomfortable is it for someone to just like touch you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put their hands on you like you're their property or something. Like, excuse me, sir, I didn't fucking ask for that. Please back the fuck up.
Right. Or even if it's as simple as grabbing your arm.
Yeah.
No, like that's my personal space. Like, don't get into there. Like, did
Don't
I
touch
say
my fucking arm.
right? Did I say you could? Like, there's
Exactly.
no reason, especially right now with everything that's going on with the pandemic and all that kind of stuff. There's no reason you should be putting your hands on another human being.
That's on period.
So just don't.
Just don't do it. Please don't do it. And also, I think I think we can just kind of like talk about like our own experiences with people in general like touching us. Personally, I've had only experienced men touching me. And that's just me. It could be either way for anybody out there. Even if you're a woman, if a woman has touched you before and you felt very fucking uncomfortable, like that is still not okay. It doesn't matter if they're not a man. Nobody in general should be touching you. But Sadie, do you want to tell your story first?
Oh yeah, so story time. A little bit ago, or yeah, a while ago, at a job that I had, you know, I'm minding my own business, and it's a short story, but it's something that made me feel really uncomfortable. But
Yeah.
you know, I was just minding my own business, doing my own thing, and one of my coworkers that I literally just met that day, I didn't know him at all, so it was just like weird. He like came up to me and he puts his hand on my back, like in the middle of my back, and like leaves it there. And I can't even tell you like what he said, because I was just like so shook that he touched me. I was like, I like turned around so fast because first of all, some stranger was touching me, and automatically, like, I don't want to like get too deep into it, but if you're someone that has any trauma from being touched in any type of way that made you uncomfortable before, then something as little as having your arm grab, having someone put their hand on your shoulder or on your back, that can be really triggering. Keep that in mind before you touch anyone as well. Like you don't know like that person's life story. Like you don't know like what they've been through or whatever. And just that little small gesture of like him feeling like he was even comfortable enough to like come up at me and like leave his hand on my back like that. I'm just like, the audacity. Like, who do you think you are? And I guess that's it. Like, it threw me off for the rest of the day because it did take me back to something. And it's just like something that ruined my whole day. And I ended up calling Lily, like, in the evening and, like, telling her about it. And it's just like, I don't know. I feel like I said before, like, you don't have any business laying your hands on someone. No matter if it's like, I don't care what your intention was or how you meant it, like there's just no reason, you know?
Yeah, if like this person is not your partner, do not fucking touch them. Even if they are your partner, if you don't know a person like that, don't fucking touch them.
Right.
Just don't fucking do it. And I totally agree with you don't know someone's life, you don't know what someone's been through. Why the fuck do you feel comfortable enough touching someone? Like Sadie said, you just ruined her day. Like that little gesture just put her in a place of mind that could have been avoided with you not touching her. Like that's not okay.
Yeah, and to go back to the like, why did this guy feel so comfortable to do that? And I'm not saying like he like tapped me or like just did it to get my attention. Like no, like he left his hand on my back in the middle of my back. That's like, no, first of all, like that's not appropriate. Like no, he held it there. It's not like he just like tapped me and I'm like freaking out. You can't make excuses. If you don't want to be touched, you don't want to be touched. Like that's your business. But going back to why he felt so comfortable and so confident to put his hands on a woman is that's like, you know, you get that from society. Like why I would never I don't feel comfortable enough to go up to, especially to someone that I just met that day. I don't feel comfortable enough to go touch somebody else. My thing is he should have not felt comfortable enough to touch me. And it's not like, and it's not like I had talked to him. And that's the funny thing. Like we had maybe one conversation a couple hours before that about work. Like it was nothing like personal. And so it was just weird. It was just weird.
Yeah, I totally understand. And I've I've had many countless encounterments like that. Like when I was younger, my parents were really religious and we went to a lot of church events. And in these church events, like older men would feel the need to like touch me. And I would just always be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like I'm 12 years old and you're over here touching me? Like I don't care where we are right now, whether in a church or in a fucking store, like don't touch me.
For real.
And going into that, I also have a story that this actually happened to me when I was 16 and it was summer. So I took like this like little summer job, like an apple picking farm with a friend of mine. She let me come with her. And the place we were at, there was this guy who was like the supervisor, whatever. He ended up separating me, and at first I didn't want to go, but I guess like every day before that, he was separating everybody else. But my thing was that there was like a group of like some other people, and I don't understand why didn't he just put me with them because we had been working with them, so I would have been a little bit more comfortable. And he secluded me like 3 rows down, 2 or 3 rows down, something like that. And so I was like, okay, whatever. I was like picking apples, doing the job, whatever. And he comes over where I am, and it's just me. And I remember feeling like him walk towards me, like I could see him from like my side view. And he walked down, he walked next to me, and he started talking to me. And he was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm good, you know, just doing my job." and he started like picking apples next to me or whatever. He like started asking me if I like to go dancing, like if I enjoy going out and stuff like that. And mind you, I'm 16 years old. Like I'm a 16-year-old girl. Like I can't even go to a fucking club, you know? Like where the fuck am I gonna go? I was like, I guess. Like I don't really fucking like I didn't know how to answer. And he's like, we should go sometime. You should give me your number. And yeah, I remember feeling so uncomfortable. Like I started getting scared because we were by ourselves. Where the group of my friend or the people I came to work with they were like on this machine, so you couldn't even hear me if I had screamed because the machine is fucking loud.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my God, like if I don't give him my number, like, he's going to, I don't know, anything could have
Like,
happened.
mad.
Yeah, like he could have fucking killed me or whatever.
But that's another thing. Like the fact that you like at 16, like you felt scared, like what's gonna happen if I don't give this guy my number?
Yeah,
Like
like
that's like society, like, hello.
yeah. And so I start giving him like the first beginning of my number and I changed the last four. And he's like, I'll call you right now. I was like, oh my God. And I was scared because I knew I didn't give him the right number. And the Lord was on my side this day. I had no service and I was like, I have no service, like you won't go through. And he was like, oh, okay, I'll text you later. And I was like, okay. Like knowing that the number I gave him was wrong. Then like something happened. He's like, okay, like I'm gonna go put you with this other group. And that right there is when I knew he only secluded me by myself so he could come talk to me.
Right.
Like I did not need to be in a row by myself. He just wanted me there. And so so I just knew that he put me in that row by myself so he could talk to me. And I just was so incredibly uncomfortable. And so he moved me with this other group, and it was like these older men, like grandpas. And I was talking to them. They were really sweet to me, and, they were respectful. Like they were like introducing themselves to me. And at first we didn't really talk, but then I think I said something and they started talking to me and they were like, oh, where were you? Like, were you with another group? And I was like, oh no, like the guy put me by myself and he started talking to me. And then he started telling me this story about him doing that to multiple girls before. Like
What the hell?
he was known to like separate girls, get their numbers, and then drunk dial them. And I was like, I'm 16. Like, I'm not even of fucking age.
Right.
And so then we had like our lunch and I ended up going back with my group and I was sitting in the car and I remember feeling so like uncomfortable and scared. And one of the girls, like the boss's daughter, like was talking to me. She's like, what's wrong? And I told her and she was like, she told her mom and she's like, you're not leaving our side, like you're staying with us. And then before we left, he ended up not being like there anymore. But I was still scared because I mean, yes, I was staying with the group, which I'm thankful for. Like these women like had my back. Like whether or not I knew them or not, like they were like, no, like you're gonna stay with us, like that's not gonna happen again. I was still scared because he knew where we were working and whether he was working with us or not, like I still feared that he'd come back and try and do something.
Right.
But I just remember like, when I think back to the story, I'm just like, why did he feel like he had the right to do that? Because
For real.
like, why has this happened so many times, countless of times? And, me, when I feel scared or when I was younger and I felt scared in the moment, like I will just say whatever I need to say to like get out of a situation. So
Right.
in the moment, like, yes, I thought of giving him a fake number, but if it would have been any other situation, like at a Walmart or somewhere, I felt like I probably would have given him my number because I would be scared that if I didn't, like something else would have happened. You know what I mean? So like, why do we have to feel like that in order to feel like we need to get home safe? You know
Right.
what I mean? Like that's not okay.
No. And I think going off of what you're saying, like we are taught, like us as girls are taught to fear men.
Yeah.
We're also taught to fear men in power that have control. Like think about it this way as well. Like, how many times have you seen on TV or even in your home, your personal home, has your mom said, "Oh, well, wait until your dad comes home. Like, you're gonna be in trouble
Right.
when your dad comes home." Like, you see that on TV. It's happened to me, like, personally. I don't know if it's happened. Has it happened to you personally?
Oh, yeah.
It's like you're taught from a young age that, like, here's one thing that, going based on that, this is like all making me think right now. Okay, if you're getting in trouble at home, like, why are you less scared of your mom than you are of your dad? Because you're taught to fear men. And then to men are taught that we as girls, as women, are like a prized possession, that we
Mm-hmm.
are just objects, that we're that thing that you need to have on your arm, that you need to have a good job so that you can get a pretty woman. Like, things like that. And so, going off of what you're saying, of like, why did I feel like I was scared, like if I didn't give him my number, like I was scared, like, of what would happen next. And it's because it's like we're taught that when we defy men, like, bad things happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and if you're in any position where it's like, especially if you're alone with a man, like, what are you gonna do?
Right.
Because we are brainwashed to think that, like, like, it's we're just trained to believe that men are superior to us and that we need to, like, fear them.
Yeah. And I just, going off what you just said, like, also, and I know you and me have talked about this so many times, just the simple fact of women, like, I remember when I was younger, especially when my parents were more religious, if anybody came over to our house, like, it was like, there's a man coming to the house, like, you need to put some clothes on. And
Right.
I would just be wearing fucking shorts and a t-shirt. And I'm like, I just remember thinking, like, well, shit, like, so now I have to change in my house, my own home. I have to control a man not looking at me.
Right.
Like, what
That
the
is,
fuck is that? What in the fuck is that?
I'm sorry. To any of the parents out there or families out there, if you can't trust the people you invite into your home with your little daughter or your daughter of any age, then you should not be welcoming them into your home.
Right.
Like, that's like logical. Like, that's logical thinking. If you're scared of that man sexualizing your daughter, why is that man sitting at your fucking table?
correct.
Like,
Correct.
kick him out, boo boo.
Yeah.
I
I
just,
just I never, and as a child, I remember always thinking, like, okay, like, I have to listen to my mom. And now, like, when I see that happening to my cousin and I hear, like, my aunt say that to her, and I'm just like, why? Like, why does she have
right.
to change in her house?
Yeah.
Like, this is her home. Why are you forcing her to change? And I love my family, but like, they grew up with my grandma saying that to them. And
Hmm.
I will make sure that I do not raise my daughter like that. Like,
No.
if there is any man coming over to my house, whether it be my own family, whether it be my friends, like anybody, if you are invited to my house with my children in my house, it is because I expect you to have respect towards my kids.
Hmm.
If you are gross and you see a girl, whatever age she may be, and you think she's attractive, like, the fuck is wrong with you?
For real.
Any girl under 18, if you look at her and you think she is cute, or you start whatever having your manly quote unquote thoughts, like, something is fucking wrong with you.
Yeah.
That is disgusting. How do you look at a child like that?
No, I don't know.
But continuing with that, energy, I would love to just have a little conversation about why the fuck we allow our government to tell us what we can and cannot do.
Right. Like, what I thought about this. Lily asked me earlier why we let the government control whether or not we can have abortions.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, that's a sensitive topic, which it really fucking shouldn't be.
No.
It should either be, like, it shouldn't, things like abortion, marriage, sexuality, I don't know, anything that has to do with your personal life should not have anything to do with the government. The government should not get a say. Like, they shouldn't even be able to say, oh yeah, it's okay for you to go get an abortion.
Yeah.
Like, that shouldn't even be a conversation.
The only person who should be deciding whether you should or should not get an abortion is yourself.
Right.
Not your mom, not your sister, not the fucking neighbor, not the bitch ass protester standing outside of an abortion clinic scaring you shitless. None of them should get a say in what you get to do with your fucking body. And that is on motherfucking period.
For real. I really can't, like, fathom, like, where we were even, like, what, 40, 50 years ago? Like what you were saying earlier, but how did, like, we just sit back and let that happen?
I don't think it's just how, like, 50, 40 years ago, the moment we started allowing men to make decisions for us, we really screwed up the rest of our decisions.
Yeah.
Because we gave them the access to say, hey, they let me do it, so I'm going to say they don't get abortions because whatever you believe in and you think for some reason a woman should not get an abortion.
Yeah.
I get it. You have your beliefs. That is you. That is your beliefs. If you believe abortion shouldn't happen, or if you believe whatever you believe, you decide that in your life. You don't get to look at someone else's life and say, hey, I believe this, so you don't get to do it either. That's not what they believe, boo.
Is your life so bad that you feel like you need to control someone else's?
Right.
Like you said, like, if you have a certain belief, that's fine. Apply that to your life.
Exactly.
But what gives you the audacity or the authority to think that you can make that decision for other people?
Right.
None.
Yeah.
And, like, with the conversation of bringing, like, I guess they're trying to unlegalize gay marriage again.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is that anyone's fucking business?
Why do you get to decide that? Like, if you're a man, you don't want to marry a man, don't marry a man. Don't fucking do it. But don't tell someone else that they can't do that shit. Mind your fucking business. Damn. How fucking hard is it?
It's really not that hard.
It's
And
not.
also, it's like, what happened to the separation of religion and government?
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure that the only reason people want to unlegalize gay marriage is because it doesn't fit with religion.
Right.
And that's not my fucking problem. Like, what you believe in your religion is not my problem. What I believe in my religions or whatever is not your problem.
Period. If you are listening to this and you're like, well, I believe in this, this, and this, good for you. Like, that's your life. I'm not judging it. I'm not saying you're wrong. That's your opinion. Do whatever the fuck you want. What I'm saying is you don't get to decide what I get to do. Live your best lives. Believe your whatever you believe in. But don't come to people who don't have the same beliefs in you and say, well, you're going to fucking hell if you kill your baby. Like, just do your thing and let people do their thing.
Yeah.
That's literally all it is.
I think that's when people are like, okay, well, you can have the baby, just, like, give it up for adoption. Coming from someone that was in the foster program, there are tons of thousands, if not millions, of kids in the foster system waiting to be adopted out, and nobody adopts them because they're broken. And because they they know their parents, and nobody wants that. Everyone wants a shiny new little baby, but no one wants the 8-year-old with issues. So it's like, go tell all of those fucking kids, because there was a time in my life, and I know that's a little personal, where I was like, why didn't my mom just set me up for adoption? Like, why wouldn't she just pop me out and give me to a new family?
Right.
Or why would, no, not even that, but if she couldn't do that, like, why would she even have me? Like, why would I be put through all of those experiences as a kid if I didn't need to? Like, why didn't she get a fucking abortion? And I remember thinking that as a kid, like, why am I here? Like, why, if it was so easy to go get an abortion, like, why wouldn't she get an abortion if she couldn't take care of me? And whether you like to believe it or not, because you probably haven't experienced that, kids know. Like, kids fucking know, and they will, like, wonder why they didn't get given to a better family, or why, you know, once they figure out what abortion is, like, why weren't they aborted?
Right.
As a kid, I would look at all the kids around me and be like, wow, like, they have it, like, so much better. They live in better houses. Like, they're, you know, like, whatever. Like, just comparing it to my circumstances. And especially as I got older and we started learning about abortion in health class and stuff, I was really, like, concerned on, like, why didn't my mom just abort me if it was so easy? And I'm not saying that, like, do it so, like, your kid doesn't experience that. I'm just saying, like, if you, whatever reasoning you have to get an abortion, like, that's your thing. That has nothing to do with anybody else. Because if my mom didn't listen to, you know, everybody else, like, maybe I wouldn't have been here, but maybe I wouldn't have been, you know, that, like, sad fucking kid either. So I don't know. Just, like, make that decision for yourself.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I just think that the moral of everything we're saying is, whether it be about the topic abortion, whether it be about the topic marriage, or like anything like that, I think that, like, in general, just mind your fucking business. Like, I think that should have never been an option for people to make decisions for you. And just don't, if you're a man and you're listening to this, don't fucking touch someone.
For real.
If you're a woman and you feel the urge to touch people, just don't. Keep your hands to yourself. If you don't know that person, you don't know what they've been through, please keep your hands to yourself. And like Sadie said, just a little gesture, putting their hand on your lower back, can really just set them off and, like, ruin their day. And you know, now I'm in a point in my life where if someone tried to touch me, I'd fucking swing my arm and slap them across the fucking face. But when I was younger, I wasn't like that. And most young girls aren't like that.
No. And I would just like to say that us who right now, like, our generation, you know, I think that the children that we have will be the best generation.
Oh, yeah.
Because they are going to know self-worth, self-esteem. They're going to know that they deserve to have their bodies respected. They're going to know that they're in control of their bodies. Like, they're just going to be such a woke, like, generation. It's insane.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, that this is where we're kind of going to wrap it up, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like when we talk about things like this, it just goes by so quick. It's such like I think it's because especially if you've gone through either people inappropriately touching you, or having your rights not valued, or being a child and your mother telling you to dress the fuck up, whatever related to you in this episode, I feel like you can really understand and feel the passion that we feel when we talk about this. You know, it's like most of what we said, like, we've gone through ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's crazy where our world is now, but I do believe that with more generations coming, like, we will be able to one day, you know, get our rights back and do what the fuck we want.
Right. I agree.
But yeah, I really hope you guys liked this topic. If you didn't and you don't agree with anything we said, goodbye. And if
Goodbye. You didn't agree with anything that we said, I don't understand why you're still at the end of this.
You shouldn't be here. But if you are, like, have a good day. You know, if you want to come back, bitch. I don't give a fuck. But goodbye. And then everybody else who agrees with us, like, I'm glad you do, or I'm glad you have your point of views, and, you know, you can relate to anything we've said.
I'm glad that you respect women's rights.
That's on period. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Please go follow us on our Instagram to stay updated on our future podcast. And also go follow our TikTok. We have a TikTok now.
Woohoo!
Our name will be in our Instagram bio.
Yes.
We love you guys so much, and we will talk to you next week.
We're so excited. Bye.